Women's race, South Africa's Yvette van Zyl in the colours of Nedbank Running Club, wife of former Olympian LJ van Zyl. I know he will be out on the course supporting his wife today. And as we mentioned, the last time a South African actually won the Soweto Marathon overall was back in 2011. Michael Papu Mazibuko taking that victory. So in terms of the men's race, the South African guys have been letting us down a little bit, but not to say that they've been running bad. It's just that it's such a strong contingent of international athletes, and so we expect her to slow down a little bit, but she may have started with that course record in mind.
Definitely, and we know Yvette loves the people's race. It's quite funny if you think back to the fact that when she first ran this race, she actually had a little bit of a fall in the beginning of the race, and she had some money on her, and then she got a taxi, and then she came back the next day and said, I've got no money with me this time, because you know why? If I fall, I'm going to get up and I'm going to finish this race. I'm not catching a taxi again. Such was her determination, and every year she's come out and she has become such a fan favorite here in Soweto and with this race, and it's also because it's so close to her heart, and she gives her all when it comes to the Soweto Marathon. You guys always say, oh, the last South African that won was Michael Mazibuko, taken away from the women's achievements, because our ladies really have impressed at this event. To Yvette van Zyl, the one that is flying the flag for the ladies. You mentioned her 10K time. Going through that 10K mark, she was 20 seconds ahead of Gadise Getashu Bekele of Ethiopia. But a name that really stands out for me is Salem Abere Alabeshu, who was 50 seconds off of Yvette van Zyl. Now, if we look at Salem Abere, she is a lady that came third at this race in 2017. She's also a lady that has won the Mandela Marathon twice. And why do I mention the Mandela Marathon? Well, because if we look at two of the most difficult standard marathons in South Africa, those are them, the Soweto Marathon and the Mandela Marathon.
Yeah, most definitely. Alabechu, a very, very strong and versatile athlete, but I think the difference that Yvette has over Alabechu is that speed element. She's very, very fast. She just came off that 72-minute half marathon in the gun run over in Cape Town. And I think, the slower the race is, the more dangerous Alabechu is. But when it becomes a very fast race like we saw Yvette doing last year, Alabechu doesn't stand a chance. But it's still early days.
Maybe that's the reason why she's gone out at the pace that she has, to ensure that she does play that speed card early on.
Yeah, I think that's a very good tactic. As we see in the pictures now, the leading athletes in the 21 kilometer, so they've made that right turn down past Nasrec over the freeway there, and you can see this is a very, very fast pace. Valen, it's quite hard to see on our screen right now as the sun is really seeping through into our commentary box. So
Alroy is right there in the front, Alroy Galant, and
yeah.
You mentioned him.
Yeah, so that's Elric Galant in the white cap, just spraying the water over his head. Pelani Buthelezi in the colours of Marianne Roberts just behind him, with the Lesotho athlete from Nedbank Running Club, Namakwe Nkasi. So those are the big three athletes that are currently in the lead in the half marathon. But back to the leaders of the men's marathon, and a very, very strong and versatile pack here. A lot of the Nedbank Running Club athletes here are shown, Marianne Roberts as well, and Max Delete. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen in the yellow vest there, Benedict Moeng, training partner of Stephen Mokoka. He recently competed in the World Championships, that marathon in Doha, unfortunately failing to finish there in the heat. But
one of the many.
Yeah, Stephen did mention that they didn't want to actually waste his shape, as he was in really, really good shape for the race. So they've come here through to Soweto. The athletes in the red vest here in the colours of Max Elite, Tebogo Nusi, very, very strong athlete from Lesotho. He's done well here before, now with a big focus on trail running. And in the short, stocky athletes on the right-hand side of the picture, a very interesting athlete there in the colours of Nedbank Running Club from Kenya. That's Justin Cheshire Kemboi. Top 10 here last year. Viewers mustn't forget he won the Old Mutual Tour Oceans Marathon last year. Came back to defend his title this year, finished third, and then went on to become the first Kenyan to ever get a gold medal in the Comrades Marathon. So that just shows the pedigree of Justin Cheshire Kemboi, a very, very strong athlete who cannot be counted out when it comes to taking victory today.
And also showing all South Africans that Kenyans can run further than just 42.2 kilometers, because that was always the thing that many of the ultra runners from Lesotho and Southern Africa said, that the Ethiopians and the Kenyans are very good at all of your Olympic distances, but when you put them up to the ultra distances, then they start to struggle a little bit. But certainly he bucks that trend. We saw them go around a corner there, and this route actually has quite a lot of turns. What's the impact of that on the runners?
Yeah, there are a lot of turns here, especially sharp ones. So in terms of that, it kind of breaks the rhythm of the guys that are running here in front now. So the straight roads, you set into that rhythm, you set a tempo around 309, 310 per kilometer, which these athletes are currently running at, and the turns definitely do slow you down. So if you look back at the Ineos 159 challenge that Eliud Kipchoge took part in to become the first human to break 2 hours for that marathon distance, there were no turns at all. They did have a roundabout turn, but they actually built a special bank, and it was banked as it was like in an indoor track for him on that course.
Wow.
So that just helped to not break the rhythm. Obviously, the meticulous pacing that was involved there to run at an average of 2:51 per kilometer. We won't even see times like that today in the 10K or half marathon here. Just shows to go how amazing Eliud Kipchoge's run was there, 1:59.40. But today is not about fast times. Today is about the victory. Of course, records can be broken, but it's the victories that will forever stay.
You mentioned Max Elite athlete Nusi. Is that new kit that they've got?
It's been red and white for some time now, but they do often change their kit. They've had a full black kit as well, and I think they've settled on the red. If you remember back in the days, Max Elite Club was known as the Mr. Price Running Club, and they were known as the Red Devils, so I think they wanted that nickname back.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, I like the new red with the white strip along the front. It looks very good. Fantastic running from our athletes. We've got a lot of the athletes going past the UJ Soweto campus along Chris Hani Baragwanath, which is one of the main arterials that you come into Soweto along. And it's great, big, wide roads, and not something that you'll get when they actually go off of Chris Hani Baragwanath Road, or Chris Hani Road rather. Baragwanath is obviously the hospital, but as they veer off Chris Hani Road, they go in through Pimville past zones 1 and 4 and 6, and that's where the roads get really a lot slimmer, and that's something that will impact these guys. But when you're in this area of the race, or when you're among this group, there's just so much talking that is going on. Everybody is chatting, you're making friends, you're finding out about people's lives, and they're sharing stories with you, and it's just a wonderful social event. So it's great to see that we've got so many people, and this is how it'll be for so many people, throughout the race, making new friends, and that's why a lot of people enjoy road running.
Definitely, Valen. Running it's one of the most not only best sports to do in terms of healthy body, healthy mind, healthy fitness, but you can have people who are unemployed, you can have car guards, you can have CEOs of major companies that make friends along the way, and who knows, even forge future good business prospects. And I'm sure they'll be talking a lot about the rugby yesterday and some unhappy Orlando Pirates supporters, some happy Kaizer Chiefs supporters talking about their teams. But just to show you how spread as well the athletes are, this is at the UJ Soweto campus, and the leading men in the marathon who we saw just earlier in the picture came through this same section half an hour ago. So that just shows how spread they are along the route.
Puts that into perspective, right? Well, we've got over 13,000 people taking part in the 42.2 kilometer race, many of them wanting to see just how far they are when it comes to their preparation for the Comrades Marathon. We spoke about the entries having opened earlier this week, being sold out within 2 days, and many people will be wanting to know where they are, but some people won't be using the time that they get here for their qualification for the Comrades Marathon, because it is just that tough.
Definitely, I think you'll see a lot of athletes just wanting to try get the qualifier, and then next year aim for a faster time and of course a faster seeding batch. But if you look at the screen now, beautiful images here, split into 3. On the top you have your race leader of the Soweto Marathon. Down on the left-hand picture is Yvette van Zyl, your leading lady in the women's marathon. And in the bottom right is the leading athlete in the half marathon, Ulrika Lunt, obviously in great form, Valen, coming off that 2:11 marathon, qualifying him for next year's Tokyo Olympics in the recent Sanlam Cape Town City Marathon. But beautiful shots here that we're not just seeing some parts of the race, but all distances. So great work by SABC Sport here and the various teams out on the road.
That's why we do it, Kieran, for the love of the game. And it's not just us here in commentary that are just road running fans, but also our crew that are out there giving us the pictures. We see David Khatebe as, well, I don't know if it's David Khatebe or Vet van Zyl, they've just hooked onto one another, hey, leading this group.
I think it's more David Khatebe trying to hang on to Vet van Zyl's pace. Normally around November time, David's not the fittest that he's been after not having such a great year, although I say that he did come second in the Two Oceans Marathon earlier this year. But back to the leading men on the right-hand side there of the picture, looking around, Justin Chishire Kemboi, the Nedbank Running Club Kenya athlete, and he's got a vast pedigree. Winner of last year's Two Oceans, third this year, sixth on his debut Comrades, becoming the first Kenyan to ever win a Comrades gold medal, but it's not going to be easy. You've got there Teboko Nusi in the colours of Max Elite, as you mentioned earlier, Benedict Moeng on the far left of the screen there in the yellow